If you love soft, delicious cookies topped with a perfect swipe of buttercream, then my sour cream cookie recipe is for you. And if you like my videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Hey, you're watching Preppy Kitchen, where I, John Cannell, teach you how to make delicious homemade dishes to share with your family and friends. These sour cream cookies will be ready before you know it, because there's no chill time. So let's get started. First off, set that oven to 350. There's no chill time, and line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper or silicone mats. Into a large bowl, I'm adding 1 3/4 cups or 210 grams of all-purpose flour. You know, a scale is the best way to measure flour. Now we're adding half a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So we'll puff our cookies right up. Half a teaspoon of salt will give us a nice bit of contrast. We're gonna whisk, 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 and set aside. These cookies come together so fast, and they are the most cakey, delicious cookies, especially with that frosting on top. This recipe only needs 1/3 cup of butter. That's like 6.5 tablespoons. 75 grams? Yeah, 75 grams. They do not teach metric in this country. I'm just gonna put that out there. We're gonna cream this up, then add the sugar, and then the magical sour cream that gives you these little bites of delicious cake that are still like kind of light and just, you can just keep popping them in. They're not gonna be super heavy. Okay, cream it up. So little butter, but we're adding in 1 cup of sugar, 200 grams. Mix that up until it's light and fluffy. You can make this recipe with a hand mixer. If you're using a stand mixer, because there's so little butter in here, you're gonna have to scrape the bowl down at least once, maybe twice, just so it fluffs up. Otherwise, it'll compact it down and you're not gonna get a delicious cookie like you want. Once your mixture is light and fluffy, add 1 egg in, along with 2 teaspoons of a nice vanilla. This is wild because so light on the inside, on the outside. Do you see this? That's crazy talk. This is why we scrape the bowl down. Now that we did this, it's gonna mix together really well. Yes, this is what you want. Okay, this is light, it's creamy and delicious. Now we're adding in half a cup of our signature sour cream. It's gonna incorporate and just make these cookies delicious. So sour cream is slightly acidic. Any acid you add to a baked good is gonna give you a tender crumb. It's gonna be a little bit fluffier and just amazing. And of course, the sour cream adds a bit of tang that contrasts so nicely in something sweet. Okay, that's all mixed up really nicely. We're gonna add the flour in and get to scooping. Okay. Someone's home, I hear the kids. Okay, they're gonna love these cookies, but they have to bake first. Mix on low until almost combined, and you're gonna finish that batter off by hand. Fully converted, you should always just finish any cake, cookie, or cupcake batter off by hand, so you have a perfect feel for when it's just incorporated. Overmixing is one of the enemies of home bakers. That is a beautiful silky batter. We're gonna scoop this up and pop it onto the baking sheets now. Get that triggered ice cream scoop or 2 spoons, but this is really handy. And we're just gonna scoop the dough out, kind of level it off a bit, and then pop that on to a baking sheet. This doesn't look amazing. You're gonna get a really rustic cookie, but we're gonna fix that in a moment. Leaving about 2 inches of space between each cookie because they will be spreading out a bit. You give the cookies space between, you're allowing air to circulate, and it just makes everything bake really evenly and nice. Once your cookies are scooped up, you're gonna dampen your clean fingers with some water and then just corral them into more of a circular shape with less of the flyaways. The flyaways would burn a bit and you want them to be nice and evenly baked. We're gonna bake these at 350 for about 11 minutes or until the bottom is just turning golden brown. They'll continue to bake and set after they come out of the oven. In you go. While my cookies are in the oven, we're making this really simple buttercream topping for them with 1/2 cup of room temperature butter. It's 113 grams and 2 cups of powdered sugar. But first, we're gonna cream it up. After your butter's been worked over a bit, we're gonna add 2 cups or 240 grams of powdered sugar. Just dump it right in. If you want, you could add a pinch of salt, just a little tiny one. We're gonna mix this up, give it a start, We're gonna mix this up so it's more incorporated, and then we can add the vanilla and a little bit of milk. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and about 2 tablespoons of milk, a tablespoon at a time. Once it's nice and creamy, we can slather it onto our cooled cookies, but for a little bit of extra color, I'm adding a touch of pink and a little bit of yellow. It'll make a beautiful ombre to take these cookies to the next level. My cookies are out of the oven and just cool enough to decorate. You can see they're beautiful and light on top and just golden on the bottom. One of the reasons I love using Silpats is you get just like less burning on the bottom. We're gonna smear on some buttercream, not that much, just enough to cover the top. And then choose a color and mix that in. And you're just gonna get like a nice little ombre effect, and it'll look so pretty. These are one of Brian's favorite cookies. He'll be eating all of them, but I get a bite first. If you like these videos, check out my cookie playlist. It's so soft with a wonderful chew, and that creamy buttercream on top just slaps you in the face and says, "You love me, don't you?" Hope you had a chance to make this recipe, and I'll see you in the next video.